Hey guys! So I realized I was doing a lot of the history of blah 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 videos a lot, so I thought I could shake things up a bit and do something a little different. So I'm sure you've heard of the feud between Audrey Hepburn and Julie Andrews, haven't you? No? Oh well, that's probably because there actually wasn't one. Yeah, I'm sorry, I clickbaited you. Wait, no, come back! I promise, it's an interesting story! Okay. Yeah, we're talking about the two nicest, most humble women in Hollywood. So I've been doing some reading, and actually in my spare time I love reading actors' biographies, and as I was reading them, I got the idea for this video. So I read Enchantment, The Life of Audrey Hepburn by Donald Spoto, Home, A Memoir of My Early Years by Julie Andrews, and I just started her second memoir called Homework, A Memoir of My Hollywood Years. And if you're interested in any of these books, I will leave links down below. So this intro's been way too long, so let's just get right into it. To start, let's go back to 1962. Audrey Hepburn was a cinema darling. Just a decade earlier, she won an Academy Award for her role as an adventurous princess in Roman Holiday, and her career skyrocketed. She had a reputation of purity and was an icon for high fashion. Her most famous film, Breakfast at Tiffany's, came out the year before and earned her a 4th Oscar nomination. So by this time, she was a household name. Julie Andrews had also made a name for herself at this time, but in theater. She began singing lessons at the age of 7 and began touring in vaudeville shows with her mother and stepfather. When she was a teenager, she began to star in local theater productions in England, and at 18 was offered her first role on Broadway with The Boyfriend. By 1962, she had played 3 leading roles on Broadway, including originating the role of Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. In 1956, Audrey Hepburn actually attended a showing of My Fair Lady on Broadway. After speaking with reporter Edmund Schullert, Audrey said she hoped that she and her husband Mel Ferrer would star in a film version, her as Eliza and him as Professor Higgins. In October of 1962, Audrey was officially contracted to play Eliza, and Rex Harrison was to play Professor Higgins, the role he played on Broadway with Julie Andrews. Many people believed that Julie would play Eliza in the film version. However, Jack Warner, the producer, felt that she wasn't known internationally since she had never been in a film before. He also felt like he was taking enough of a risk casting Rex Harrison after Cary Grant turned down the role. With Hepburn's notoriety, he felt that having her name in the title role would make the film a success. My Fair Lady is a musical, and Audrey Hepburn wasn't a stranger to singing in her films. She sang La Vie en Rose in Sabrina, and Moon River in Breakfast at Tiffany's. However, the role of Eliza Doolittle required a soprano singing voice. Audrey Hepburn was an alto. When production began, she took vigorous singing lessons, and she was very nervous about her singing in the film, and she asked director George Cukor if they were going to use her real voice. He assured her that certain notes might be interpolated with another voice. After her singing had improved with these lessons, both George Cukor and Jack Warner told her that she would be singing the songs in the film. And they lied to her face. Meanwhile, Julie Andrews was finishing her latest role on Broadway, playing Guinevere in Camelot alongside Richard Burton. One night after the show, she had a visitor, and it was none other than Walt Disney. He was looking for someone to play the title role in his next film, Mary Poppins, and after seeing Julie's performance that night, he offered her the role on the spot. She initially declined though, because she had just found out she was pregnant, but Walt Disney said that they wouldn't be ready to shoot until after the baby was born anyway, so she accepted the role. Disney even hired her husband, Tony Walton, as a costume and production designer. In an interview with Dick Cavett in 1971, Julie Andrews describes that she did feel sad that she was passed up for the film version of My Fair Lady, but she understood why Audrey Hepburn was cast. Later on, she would become very grateful for that decision. Marni Nixon was hired to dub Audrey Hepburn's voice in the movie. Nixon was famous for dubbing many singing roles, such as Deborah Kerr in Affair to Remember and Natalie Wood in West Side Story. Of course, Nixon's hiring was kept very private. During shooting, Audrey lip-synced to her pre-recorded singing tracks, unaware that these wouldn't be used in the final film. There are actually videos on YouTube where you can listen to some of the songs with Audrey's original voice. And I'm no singing expert, but in my opinion, she really couldn't reach a lot of the required notes. Filming Mary Poppins was an enormous feat for Julie Andrews. Although she had extensive training in singing and theater, she had to adjust to smaller acting, continuity, and filming in front of a black screen for animation to be added later on. Despite these challenges, Julie Andrews would call her first experience in film unforgettable. It's said that when Audrey found out that her voice was going to be dubbed in the movie, she stormed out of the room, rightfully so. And then the next day she came back and she apologized for her wicked behavior. Do we even have people like that in the industry today? Critical reception of both films was very positive. They were both nominated for many Academy Awards, including Best Actress for Julie Andrews, but not Audrey Hepburn. Hepburn wrote to George Cukor about her feelings of being snubbed. She said, "I think I am the only one not in the dark. Everybody seems to search for an explanation. It seems to me it is all very simple. My performance was not up to snuff. Because My Fair Lady meant so terribly much to me, I had sort of secretly hoped for a nomination, but never counted on the Oscar. What does amaze me is the hullabaloo which ensued and the constant pressure to get me to come to California on the big night." Oscar night came and Julie Andrews won an Academy Award for Mary Poppins. Also Rex Harrison, who starred with Julie Andrews on Broadway, won Best Actor. And in his speech, he thanked both Audrey and Julie, referring to them as two fair ladies. During this award season, Julie Andrews did get her little revenge on the studio who didn't hire her for My Fair Lady. Here's a clip from her acceptance speech at the Golden Globes that year.
Thank you very much for this lovely honor. It's a wonderful memento of a very, very happy time. Finally, my thanks to a man who made a wonderful movie and who made all this possible in the first place, Mr. Jack Warner.
In conclusion, Julie Andrews and Audrey Hepburn had no ill will for each other. In Julie Andrews' own words, she says, "Audrey and I became good friends, and one day she said to me, 'Julie, you should have done the role,' but I didn't have the guts to turn it down." Both actresses went on to become Hollywood legends and my personal role models. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and before I end this video, I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which I literally never thought would happen, and I'm so incredibly grateful, and I want to thank Odin's Movie Blog and Nerdrotic for recommending my channel, and if y'all didn't come from there, I have links to their channels below, so please check them out. Alright guys, again, thank you for watching, and let me know if you liked this kind of video. It was something a little different, and I will see you all next time. Bye!